Okay, so this is a thread breakdown that I took moments after I finished making my daily plans. As you may have known, today is the 4th of August, and if you remember, early I thought and I put the daily plan in Twitter, or now known as X. If we're breaking the SP or single prints, that is from time price opportunity or TPO, with volume, and it managed to held is structure which was squiggles here, then we might see ourselves going higher. But as you may have seen here, we do break the SP breakthrough. If you remember, we didn't even feel most of it, only partially, but a day after we feel it. But if we see here, we reject immediately on the first part of bridge. So as I approach my trade, I always look for the freshest levels. For instance, here my contextually would be this POI being breached, and I will see a reactions, whether it hits and breakthrough or whether it rejects and mean revert. Okay, my plan was to watch those level, and in this case, we see a reactive seller. As you may have seen in the volume is very big. A reactive sellers respective to the structure as I'm scalping, so I'm just gonna look for today's structure. In this case, the structure itself is relatively high. So in perspective wise for current auction market, this participant is a responsive seller. He sells on the high and buys on the low. Okay, and on that case, we have a responsive seller with big volume, and the question is he being rewarded for that? Which you need to check it for yourself. That's why you need to wait for the structure to wrap up. In this case, I took a bet because after we have responsive sellers, we do get almost inverted by lesser buying volume, but we see that each of the buying volume gets lower. As you may have seen here, exhausted. And then what's the target? For target here, I want to min revert all of the effort of the buyers from the low. As we see here, if we do saw it clearly, we have this level and this level of buyers from 1:40 a.m. From this level up into the break of this so-called magic VA, because VA is relatively dynamic. You could pull any kind of volume profile, and maybe every guy or participant might pull it differently. See, we only went through 3 hours. So for me personally, this is still relatively new, and we have lots of responsive buyers relative to the structure. If you just see here, this is the lows, this is the highs. Buyers buy on the low, sellers sell on the high. That's pretty basic responsive of market participants. Okay, hence my first target will be to invert all of the efforts of these buyers. We have buyers here, buyers on the low as well, and buyers that starts for the momentum, breaking the momentum. You see, this breaks the current structure, and then another momentum, and then another momentum. Okay, and that's pretty much all of the trades that I've taken. You just need to look for your POIs and then see the levels, because each level is very dynamic, and even a random lines can be a POI, or even a random box could be an LI. That's why you need to check if it aligns with your thesis. For me, I have two theses. Either it breaks and holds like the squiggles, and then it went up with volume preferably, or we're gonna reject. And what's my confirmation? We have a responsive zealous here, or we have exhausted bias. And the target will be to invert. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed. See you on the next thread breakdowns, which I don't know when will happen.